Welcome to HR Happy Hour Work Break. You're here live with Trish and Steve. Hey, Steve Bose.
Hey, Trish McFarlane. How are you? Busy day for both of
Good.
us, I think.
How are you?
I'm
Can I
great.
tell you what I learned today?
I feel like $1 million. Yes. What did you learn today?
I feel like we should have known this, but I'm looking online and a lot of people don't. So I'm going to admit. Okay, I'm going to bring this closer here. Hold on a second. I'm going to bring this closer. I have to put back the wrong way real quick.
All right. Be careful, whatever is going on there. I'm not
I know,
sure.
it's a microphone. I learned, okay, it's not going to work because I've got the little, what do you call it? This little thing. What's this thing?
The spit take thing or
Anyway, so for anyone out there, we're all doing, I'm going to get right to it. We're all doing Zoom meetings and recordings and all sorts of things, and everybody's buying microphones. And apparently yours is angled a little bit, mine's angled a little bit. Now it's falling over because I just flat out. There we go. Did you know that a microphone, we both have versions of the Yeti. There's other brands as well. It needs to be straight up and down.
Oh, so I tilt it for effect. I think it just is a better image. It's a better visual. Straight up and down. All right.
Straight up and down. I want to thank my friend Jim Jensen from Ceridian because he let me know. No, seriously. So if you're out there, this is your pro tip of the day. And hey, Jim, I appreciate it. And thank you for telling me. And I checked it. And sure enough. So regardless of what brand microphone you have, you want to have it straight up and down. Okay. And then you make sure you're setting on the back, which other brands as well, same thing. You need to make sure, in this case, if it's just to you, it needs to look like kind of like the little heart shaped almost setting. And then you will have, and close to your mouth is a good setting. So I am going to set it off to the side. However, we'll see if that helps a little bit.
I apologize, Trish. Yes, thank you for the tips. I'm moving around a little bit because as these work breaks occasionally get a little bit later in the day, today's a little bit later, and the angle of the sun is changing out my backyard, which is sort of on the other side of the windows in front of me. I feel like the sun is just like coming right into my eyes. So I'm going to try to
you know what? I think it's like your own, it's like nature's spotlight on you.
Yes, of course. That we need that. I need to be in the spotlight some more.
No, you know what? I feel like that's a good tip too. It is. It's fall. The sun is in a different position now for people. So these are all things you and I have been talking a lot about lighting and sound quality and things like that, just in general. Again, everyone's working from home now. So we all need to be thinking of where is that natural light coming from? If not, Amazon has some really great deals right now on light kits. So if you haven't invested, obviously, we're 6 months in, right? 6 months into the pandemic, I think. And probably no end in sight for all of the people working from home.
And then it's taking its first steps soon. It's getting so old.
There you go. You're so funny.
Thank you.
Anyway, so there's that.
So yeah, it was a busy day, and I do want to just mention because we had a really fun HR Happy Hour show recorded today, which will come out right around September 29th, so just about a week or so from now, with a person we've been trying to get on the show forever, at least 5 or 6 years, Chris Leone from Oracle, who's like the SVP of product development and go-to-market strategy and product management for all the Oracle HCM products, which is a great thing. But the thing that's most interesting, maybe I shouldn't say that's maybe not fair. The thing we love about Chris, I was going to say this is the most interesting thing about him, which I don't know, honestly. But the thing we love about him is he is one of the absolute best speakers in our industry.
I agree.
There are very few product leaders at any of the companies we've been around or we work with or we see at events who can deliver like a product strategy or a product roadmap session or a product update session with his kind of the enthusiasm, the fire, the fun. He's a funny guy too. It's one of the presentations we look forward to every single year when we see it. And it'll be coming up next week at the Oracle Live event as well. We'll be able to see him give that presentation in a virtual setting as well. So just a shout out to him and to our friends at Oracle for making that happen today. I had a lot of fun on that show today.
Yeah, actually, if you're listening to this, go out and look up Oracle Live. Like you mentioned, it's next week. And again, I hate that we don't get to go in person because you're right. I do like listening to Chris and Steve Miranda and all the people that are going to be presenting. But think about this. This opens it up for anyone who wants to attend virtually, and you're going to get that same experience. Again, lots of speakers aren't very enthusiastic, but he is. So yeah, I'm a fangirl, totally. Like I need to like be a groupie or something, get his autograph, you know.
I think he'd probably give it to you. My sense of it, yeah.
I know. Plus, he humors me by letting me talk about payroll, which I love. So. Hey,
payroll's fun. And do we want to like, or not? That payroll innovation breakthrough that we talked about earlier? Do we want to let that on the show, or do I want to save that for me? Because I thought it was a great idea. All right, I'm gonna save that one. I got something else that I want to mention. I got two things.
Save our ideas, Steve.
Idea. Trish, I hate glass tabletops.
Oh,
They're awful. They're the worst. And I always hated them. And I don't know why I hated them, because they're stupid. But here's a little factoid for you, Trish, I thought was fun. Glass tables account for 2.5 million injuries a year in the United States.
Really?
2.5 injuries a year. And a subset of 100 emergency rooms who they studied in last year had 3,265 glass table injuries in their emergency rooms. This is just 100 emergency rooms in America. 15% of these injuries were severe. 24 of them, Trish, required airlifting to level 1 trauma centers for treatment.
Now that's scary.
Dangerous. Not only are they awful, they're dangerous. I hope you don't have a glass table, Trish.
I don't. They're really difficult to keep clean, is the reason I don't have one. And, you know, especially if you have little ones, there's little fingerprints everywhere if you have anything glass. So no, that's not a thing around my house. But that's interesting. So many people are airlifted because of it. That must mean like just like falling on it and the whole thing shatters, shards, whatever, right?
Slice an artery as you go through the glass table. Like, I mean, oh
my gosh.
So get rid of your glass tables, people. They're a menace.
I appreciate that PSA.
Yeah.
I'm also always surprised at what you've read and you come up with. So
I need a hobby or something, Trish, or a pet. I probably have too much time on my hands.
That's okay. No, you know what? I think you're onto something though. It was funny you'd mentioned glass. I always feel like this happens. Like we don't talk about what we're going to talk about, right? And then we just see what happens. But today I'm writing a blog about friction. I don't know your feelings on friction, but you know, obviously everything lately is, you have to have a frictionless experience, frictionless. No, you know what? I am not a fan of frictionless. I'm a fan of friction. And I'm not going to give away the whole blog post, but the deal is this, that the only time things get done is with a little friction, right?
Okay. An appropriate
fire, you know, I might have a stick, you have a stick. It's just a stick. And then you put friction in there and you get fire, right? So something better can come from friction.
Right, right.
Too much friction.
Yeah, that reminds me of what they say, that saying about diamonds, right? You know, pressure creates diamonds or something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I guess there's two schools of thought on that. I just feel like that's such a buzzword right now, and I'm so not into it. Sort of, you know, it's just like, who wants frictionless means like everyone's just going to sit there and comply and be easy. Well, you know what? That's the exact opposite of innovation in my mind.
Yeah. Hey, I think that's a really cool concept. I'm looking forward to that. I hope to read it and we can talk about it.
Very good.
Big news here, though, Trish. Big for me. I finally did my first grocery delivery. I did it today.
How did it go?
There was some friction. I'm gonna tell you. Friction. I used Instacart, which I think people use. That's a thing that people have.
I've been using it about 2 years.
So the first thing that happened, the first moment of friction was sign up was easy. That was fine. My grocery store that I physically go to, IRL, so it's about 1.5 miles from my house, now available on the Instacart app, Trish. My friends at Harris Teeter not playing with Instacart. I don't know why. So
you need to get on them.
Now I'm going to pick a different supermarket. I don't really know where it is, so I picked the next one on the list, which was a Publix. And then
Publix is good.
It's fine, but I went ahead and did the order, and I went to submit it, and I was like, after I filled all the items, which took me a little while. It wasn't even a big order. I just wanted to make sure it worked, and I knew how to do it.
Right.
There's no one available to shop for you right now, Steve. Come back later, right? Like, okay, that's the second point of friction, right? No one available to shop for me. So I did that recommendation, though. I waited a few minutes and came back later. It saved all my items.
Right.
And then it went through, but it didn't sort of give me any information about when the thing was going to actually show up. It gave me a 5-hour window when the items were going to show up. It would happen to be, it was earlier today, between 3:30 and 8:30.
Okay.
Now I'm stuck here.
Take a pause.
Am I waiting for the cable company, Trish? It's ridiculous.
No, I want to take a pause then, because it's not always that way. So for example, typically unless you're trying to shop, it sounds like a very, very busy time, but typically it'll say you get it in a 2-hour window, a 5-hour window, or you can pick the window. So it'll say like between 3 and 4, between 4 and 5, between 5 and 6. Mm-hmm. Typically you have lots of choices. I've been doing it for 2 years, well before pandemic, and it's always been that way. So, and I've never in 2 years say,
so I got the 5-hour window, like I'm waiting for the cable guy back in the day, right? And you're stuck in your house. And I did have something I wanted to do outside of the house, which I could not do, which is just go for a jog. Nothing important. But
okay, then you just have them delivered on your front porch, which I do anyway. I always say just leave it on my front porch.
But one more piece of friction then, Trish. I'm just sitting here working away, doing my thing, an hour and a half into my 5-hour window, waiting for this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Doorbell rings. There's the stuff. So I got no message, no notification, no email that the stuff was out and it was on the way and what time around it was going to show up. Just showed up.
Okay. So you did not put the app on your phone then for notification?
Yeah, absolutely on my phone. That's how I did the order. I did the whole thing on my phone.
Check your notification settings, because mine actually says when Stacy or whoever or James starts shopping, then they always communicate. They communicate back and forth with me the entire time, like, hey, they don't have this. Do you like this instead? So there's always that.
I had to substitute like the Fruit Loops for like, the Lucky
Charms. You were getting notifications.
The only one I didn't get was the thing's on its way, or you'll be there in 10 minutes. I don't know what that notification normally says because I've never seen one.
Yeah, it says your order's on its way, and then there's even a map, and you can watch how Stacy or James or whoever where they are on the map driving to my house.
Very nice job, by the way. All right, so it's a lot of friction.
Hey, it's been 12 minutes. We're gonna go because I think people are probably now bored with the Instacart ins and outs, but I do think you need to check your notifications.
We're keeping it real here, Trish. This is the real world. I'm sorry. That's what happens.
I know. Well, I'm sorry that it turned out that way, because I'll be honest with you, I've really never had any problem with them, ever. And, once in a while, I've had 1 or 2 people where I've had to say, no, I don't want them anymore, just because they don't pay attention to detail. So silly things like, like one of my kids is lactose intolerant, so we have to get the other kind of milk. And like if it wasn't available, they just like brought milk. I'm like, okay, that's not going to work, So sometimes they make weird
lactose. I'm very tolerant.
Yeah. So
lactose can do whatever it wants for me. You're good lactose. I'll tolerate that.
All right. Well, listen, hey, thanks everyone for listening and watching as you do every day. Be sure to share it with your friends and let us know what's on your mind. What should we be reading about? Obviously, we've handled Instacart now. So let us know how Instacart works for you in your city and what tips you have for Steve. We'll talk to you all tomorrow.